In this episode of On Two Wheels, a mysterious liquid falls from the sky, a mysterious force pulls me to the ground, and a mysterious man in a red suit steals my test bike. This is True Adventure in South Africa.
Not that we've been keeping track or anything, but it has been more than a year since Honda teased a big ADV to take on BMW's GS and KTM's 1190. Now, we finally have a chance to ride it. But you might have guessed when I say we, I mean Ari Henning, who will be in South Africa to ride Honda's new Africa Twin, while I'll be here riding around on this. What a lucky son of a...
Whoa, sorry about that. I think Z-Man might be a little jealous. And you know what? He has every right to be. I mean, I'm here riding one of the year's most anticipated ADV bikes on the tip of the continent that gave it its name. This is the 2016 CRF1000L Africa Twin, and it fills a big old ADV-sized hole in Honda's lineup. Honda pulled out all the stops for this bike. First, by bringing back a legendary name made famous during the Paris-Dakar desert races of the 80s, and second, by piling a ton of technological firsts onto this big wheel, go-anywhere motorcycle. Unlike the original 1988 XRV 650, which had a 650cc V-twin, the 2016 bike has a 1000cc parallel twin, and you can get it with the optional dual clutch transmission, and it's got multi-level traction control, as well as ABS. Specs and history are all well and good, but I didn't come to Africa to talk, I came to ride, so let's kick this thing into gear and see what it can do.
This full-figured fun machine is well proportioned and very comfortable, and thanks to a low seat height and narrow midsection, it feels even smaller than it is. Plus, at $13,000, this is the most affordable open-class ADV. Not to mention that at about 500 pounds, it's also one of the lightest bikes in the class. The Africa Twin gets pushed down the road by a 998cc parallel twin, but in a world of 1200 and even 1300cc engines, it's not that high in the performance scale. Even so, at a claimed 94 horsepower, it's plenty quick, not to mention really smooth and really tractable. Even though the engine and brakes are game for a good time on a twisty road, the bike is held back by a lack of front end feel while cornering. It may just be the tires are fork setup, and of course, wet pavement never helps. But whatever the case, we had a schedule to keep, and the Africa Twin's better looking twin brother was waiting for me at the bottom of the hill.
We just got done riding some tremendous roads on the new 2016 Africa Twin, and now we're gonna ride the new Africa Twin. The difference being, this is the DCT model. No shifting, no problem.
The paint and gold rims on this bike look gorgeous, but unfortunately, this setup won't be available in America. And that's not the only unusual thing here.
It's more than a little bit strange to be riding a motorcycle without a clutch lever or a shift lever, but the DCT seems to have the whole shifting thing figured out. For around town and touring, it's pretty cool. You just kick back and let the computer do its thing. I did notice though that once the pace picks up, DCT isn't shifting when I want it to or nearly as smoothly as I'd like it to, so it's safe to say that it is not ideal for aggressive use. But hey, if you don't like the way it's shifting, you can manually override the computer with these buttons on the left grip. Check it out. It's like paddle shifters on a sports car. Well, we just spent 175 miles in the new Africa Twin, and there is no doubt that it is a comfortable, capable street bike. But this is an Africa Twin. It's not a sport tourer. It's an oversized dirt bike. So there is one very important question to be answered. How is it in the dirt?
Fortunately, if there is one thing that Africa has in abundance, it's dirt. Miles and miles of it, just waiting for its only known predator to attack.
Nothing like going 100 miles an hour off-road. Hit it!
Like the original Africa Twin, this bike is no poser when it comes to off-roading. It's got suspension that doesn't shy away from hard work, plenty of ground clearance, and an engine that's always ready to dish out the torque. Without question, this is a bike best enjoyed off the beaten path.
I don't even know if I'm on course anymore, to be honest. I'm having so much fun, I've gotten totally lost track of where I am. Yeah, now we're talking. Off the beaten path.
Okay, so the great balance and legitimate off-road suspension of the Africa Twin make it perfectly equipped for exploring new terrain. But what about that DCT business? Is it worth a damn in the dirt?
Being able to ride off-road without having to finesse the clutch, and without having to worry about stalling the bike is definitely a benefit. It makes it a lot easier to ride, and I gotta say, I'm riding as fast and having more fun than I did on the manual bike. So I honestly didn't think I was gonna like this, but I'm pleasantly surprised. Well done, Honda.
Furthering that surprise are some space-age electronics that help you take your riding to the next level. On pavement, TC and ABS are supposed to keep your wheels in line. But off-road, sometimes you need to spin a tire or slide into a corner to get the job done. Honda knows that, which is why they gave the Africa Twin TC and ABS modes that allow a lot of slip while still making sure things don't get too sideways. Usually.
Here we go, backing it into a corner. Okay. Getting a little rambunctious on this thing.
You really can't blame me for trying to find the limits. This bike is just too damn fun. So, you've flown halfway around the planet, put the coolest new ADV bike through its paces, and it just happens to be mid-December? That means there's really just one thing left to do.
What'd you expect? It may be summer here in the Southern Hemisphere, but hey, it's still the holidays. And come on, if Santa Claus was in the market for an ADV bike for his around-the-world trip, I'd be willing to say the Africa Twin would be pretty high on his list. And whether it's long-distance touring on pavement or cruising through some gnarly off-road, it's proven itself totally capable. We're really excited to get this thing back in the States and compare it to all the other ADVs, but you know what? That's it for this episode of On Two Wheels. This is Ari Henning signing off from South Africa.
People say motorcycling is risky business, but not risky enough for me, so I'm going to get in the water with a great white shark. Wow. Yeah. Great white sneak attack. Glad I could hang out in a cage with you guys.
Yeah, right. Just gonna practice my dives real quick. Still waiting for that big ball to come right at me and get the bars.
Yeah! That's awesome!
Someone's gotta bite the camera.